What if the chaos that you're feeling isn't a breakdown? It's your intuition waking up faster than your system can process. When most people are in this situation, they feel like something is wrong. And I'm here to tell you, nothing is wrong. You're actually starting to see more clearly. My name is Amy. I read patterns and collective energies, and I help people understand what's going on inside of their intuitive awakening. Let me know if you've ever experienced this. One of the very first times that I had an aware awakening, meaning I was aware of the fact that I was opening up to new levels. I had just completed a cycle of events, and there was a point in time when I looked at myself and I said, I literally just did this like a year ago. What's happening? And it was the first time ever in my life, although I had completed that cycle, that same pattern many, many times before, but it was the very first time that I remember being like, oh, I already did that before. And that was so important for me because it's like that awareness was the sign of the initiation, of the activation. We're getting more and more awareness each time. We're learning more about ourselves, about the world, about how energy works, until we get to the tipping point where we're able to, oh, this is what's been going on the whole time, and then make a conscious, intentional shift to something different. Every time that we move to a new intuitive spiritual level of awakening, it feels like chaos is ensuing. And I know that there's collective things, real 3D things happening right now, but I'm going to talk to you about how the inner and the outer are reflections of each other and why in just a little bit. Whenever we go through one of these periods where we're awakening, there are very specific things that happen. And it's almost like we get the sense that we can see what's going on, and it's like a veil that's lifting, but we can't quite see what's on the other side. We can get a glimpse, we can get kind of an understanding, but it's still hidden from us. And every time we awaken more and more, there is no like final awakening that happens. It's just we're awakening deeper and deeper and deeper into more and more awareness, clarity, understanding, connection. Have you ever felt like that? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like you feel like your body is experiencing it in an extrasensory way, but the mind has not caught up to what is actually going on. To say that right now is a really intense time collectively seems very simple. There is so much going on, not only in our country where it feels really intense, and I'm in the US, but all around the world. And it feels like things are just ramping up. And there's so many narratives going on, and there's so much noise going on. I want to be so for real with you. Rage baiting is being used intentionally to harvest your energy, and mine too, all of our energy. And this is why everything feels so collectively chaotic right now, internally and in the world around us. And let me explain. The planet and the collective consciousness is waking up. It's raising its vibration. And the powers that have benefited off of our low vibrational states are losing control of the most important thing that they have access to, which is our energy, our mental and emotional energy. And because of this raising of consciousness, people are getting more understanding. They're starting to see things clearly in a way that humankind has not seen in a very long time. And so when this happens, we become less easy to lie to trick, to manipulate, and to use for someone else's agenda, because we can make clear, aligned, intentional choices when we understand more, when we have more of the picture, okay? We are all waking up more and more and more, and the systems that are built to keep us asleep are losing their shit. They're panicking. And this is where our gift of discernment and our spiritual and intuitive gifts are imperative. It's so important for us to start sharpening these skills, because as these things are coming across our feed and coming across our TV and coming into our ear holes from our relatives or our friends or whoever, it's so important to be able to use our discernment to filter through what is correct for us, what is true for us, and block out the rest. And really be able to see the difference. Is this truth? Is this illusion? Is this distortion? What is it? And this is what I'll say from a very personal level. Just because something is true for you does not mean that it's true and aligned for somebody else. And that's the reality that we have to face. If my way of explaining this is resonating with you, please go ahead and like and subscribe so you can get access to all my videos as they come through. This is the kind of space that I hold. This is the message that I talk about. As we are all moving through this chaos and we're awakening to deeper and deeper levels of our intuitive gifts, our intuitive paths, there are some very specific things that happen to me and to my clients and customers, and they might be happening to you. There's a level of getting super sensitive, like very hypersensitive, not just emotionally, mentally, but even spatially, even touch, even sound. You might feel a lot of confusion. And because you're raising your vibration and you're ascending and you're expanding, the old systems in your life start to fall away. This could be you lose a job. This could be your relationships are breaking down. Your body may change. You may not be able to tolerate low vibrational environments. And let's even just go back to the relationships bit, okay? When your relationships start shifting, and I mean you're with people that you've been with maybe your entire life, but the conversations aren't vibing the way they used to. The energy between you isn't there. You're not feeling good when you leave the situation. You're feeling drained or siphoned. You're noticing that the conversations just are not expansive in maybe the way that they used to be, or in the way that your soul is really craving in relationships. This is not a bad sign. This just means that you're changing. This is something that happens. And this can be one of the harder, more heartbreaking aspects. And basically what's happening is that you're changing, your identity is shifting, and you have different needs when it comes to your interpersonal relationships, which are one of the most important aspects of our experience as a human being. And all of these different things can happen when you are no longer a vibrational match to the things around you, and you're in between the space of who you were and who you're becoming. And as you move into who you are becoming, the 3D environment will match that state. So you'll find a new job, you'll build new friendships, or relationships that you had will come up and match you, and it will change. You will be a different person in that relationship, and you'll be able to integrate the energy and be able to hold on to those relationships. The reason that as we expand, things can feel so chaotic and so out of place and so jarring and so unstable is because of the relationship with our nervous system and the reality that we're experiencing. We think about how our nervous system operates. It's tuned to the old version of us. So as we're moving into newer levels and layers and versions of ourselves, our nervous system kind of starts to freak out because it's unfamiliar. And when the nervous system is unfamiliar with something, it does everything it can to keep you safe and hold you back in the same patterns as before. Your spiritual gifts are coming online, but your nervous system has not updated yet. And this is how we become dysregulated. And in that dysregulation is where the feeling of that chaos and instability lives and informs. And intuitive expansion can be very regulating. I want to be really sensitive and just acknowledge the fact that this can be a very scary time. We're used to hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, but those senses are pretty static. They don't really grow over time to new levels. They can lessen for sure. Ask my husband about how well I see in the dark. But with the spiritual awakening, this is a sixth sense that grows exponentially over time, and not even the same. Sometimes you might have a little growth, sometimes you may bust wide open. And it's so dysregulating because it's a whole new world and you feel raw and you feel open. But just remember, you're not doing anything wrong. This is a natural part of your unfolding and your blossoming as a divine spiritual being. Whenever I'm in this space of growth, but it feels very destabilizing, I always refer back to my spiritual practice. I ramp that up because it really helps to ground in, like we talked about, and strengthens your connection with your highest self, source, your high vibrational guides, etc. I'm going to leave you with this. You are in the right place at the right time. You aren't falling apart. Honestly, you're breaking open into new deeper levels of yourself, of your experience, of who you came to be. Clarity will always find you when you stop forcing, when you stop judging yourself, and you start trusting, deeply trusting yourself and your experience. Because you have everything that you need and you have connection to everything that you need. Okay? Okay, let's go ahead and do this collective reading. Just a little quick one. I'm gonna put my microphone down. I don't know how that's gonna work, but I'm gonna try. Okay, let's go ahead and do this collective reading. Spirit guides, angels, Shogun's engine, highest self. Okay. Two of Pentacles. This is all about balancing your resources. This is all about understanding what is available to you, what you're giving out, and what's coming back, and making sure that there is an equilibrium that is in place. Not giving too much of yourself, not too much of your attention, not too much of your love, not too much of your judgment, and not taking too much. We don't want to become a sponge for whatever is out there. We want to be really discerning and filtering about what we allow in our space, and making sure that you're using that discernment to filter through anything that does not belong to you, anything that does not resonate with this new version of yourself. And don't feel bad, don't feel guilty about this. This is also about being adaptable to yourself, not adapting to the energies that are out there, but adaptable and willing to shift and move and release the old parts of you that are no longer vibrational resonance with who you are becoming, giving yourself so much grace around that, and knowing that at the end of the day, even though it may feel tight, even though it may feel like you're being stretched, even though the chaos may feel like it's closing in around you, you have more than everything you need to not only make it through, but make it through beautifully, and make it through provided for, and make it through in a way that is graceful to yourself. Okay? So hold on to that, anchor into your intuition, continue to develop yourself spiritually, give yourself the grace and support that you need, and allow yourself to be a witness to the chaos, not a sponge to the chaos. We observe, okay? We do not absorb. We are not consumed. Okay, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you next time.